Good morning, everybody. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. It's a little windy outside, so I'm indoors today, but I think that's a great idea anyway because we're going to be focusing on a breathing technique, and it's really important that you're going to be able to hear what I'm doing with the breath and have high quality in that on your end. So I have a chair today that will have an option to use for a little bit of balance. I have a request from Linda for hip openers, from Judith for breathing techniques, from David and Joyce for some core, and David for upper body. So I'm going to wrap that all in today with a lot of options for you to take depending on how your shoulders are feeling, all of that today. So come to a seated position, and you can use your chair if you want because we're going to be there for a bit, or maybe down on a little bit of a pillow or blanket. Coming to just a nice, comfortable place to focus on our breathing. And we have gone over the Ujjayi breath before, which is called the ocean breath. That's that little bit of a constriction in the back of the throat where we create kind of a sound. We've done that before. One we have not done that I haven't taught in LisaBug classes is called the bee's breath, like a bee. And it's a humming sound. And I don't know how many of you, just as you're going about your day, if it's normal for you to just kind of hum as you're going about your day. I'm a hummer. So as I'm cleaning or moving around, I hum, and it's maybe not a specific tune. I just enjoy humming. It makes me feel happy. It's enjoyable for me, and I don't really think about that I'm doing that. You may or may not be a hummer, but if you are, in a way, you're doing the bee's breath. And bee's breath is called, let's get my correct number here, Bhramari breath. So it's Bhramari, Bhramari. So you can research it a little bit more if you'd like to. But I just wanted to give you a few benefits of Bhramari breathing, or the bee's breath. And these have been studied, so they're scientific, um, just things that happen in our body when we do the bee's breath. Number one is reduced blood pressure, decreased anger or anxiety. So if we're feeling a little agitated, that kind of thing, a bee's breath is going to help with that. Relaxation of the central nervous system. So it brings us more into that parasympathetic side of our nervous system, the rest and digest, rather than the fight or flight kind of anxious side. It also helps us to reduce inflammation in our body. Wow, that's pretty incredible. And I'm all about that as I'm dealing with a lot of inflammation in my knee. Regulation of the metabolism, boosted immunity, and regulation of hormones. And that's specifically regulating things like cortisol and epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline, those high intensity hormones that sometimes are flowing through our body. So that sounds kind of exciting. And so I'd like for us to learn the bee's breath. And basically, it's just to hum. So I just want you to sit nice and tall. You'll keep your mouth closed for this, and you can even place your hands against your ears just softly because it helps for you to hear the humming a little bit more. And you can pick a solid note, and I just want you to inhale through your nose, and you'll exhale through your nose with your mouth closed and make a and that really, in my ears, sounded like a bee. So we're going to do about 5 of these breaths with or without closing your ears. Make them as long as you can. Let's start together. Inhale. And I want to do 4 more, but I'm not going to hum because I don't want you to hear my humming. I want you to hear your own. So we'll breathe 4 more times. Inhale and exhale. Three more. Deep inhalation, long, slow humming exhalation. Two more. Maybe pick a different tone on these last two to hum. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time with our Bhramari bee's breath. Inhale, slow exhalation. And then just return to a normal breath pattern. So I'm going to invite you through the class, if you enjoyed the bee's breath, if you felt the calming aspect of it, if you just want to experiment with it a little bit more and try it, we're going to breathe that way through several of our poses today. If it's not working for you to hum, then maybe try the Ujjayi breath or just a regular exhalation. So let's bring our hands to our goalpost arms. And we'll pull our arms back 3 times gently. 1, 2, 3. Then on the exhale, bring the hands together. And they may or may not touch at the heart center. And we'll open out 3, 2, 1, and close. Now I invite you on the close to add your bee's breath. Inhale, open 3, 2, 1, and hum. 2 more times. Inhale. Last time, open 3, 2, 1. And open those arms out to your goalpost. Tip your waist to the right side, reaching the left arm up. Pull that elbow down, tip your waist to the opposite side, reaching up. And we'll inhale when we go to the right side. Exhale to the left with an optional hum. Inhale right. 2 more. Inhale right, hold right, and exhale. Then inhale left, exhale right. If you need to place your hand down for a little support, you can. Inhale left, exhale right, optional Bhramari breath, humming. 3 more, inhale left, exhale right. 2 more. One more. Inhale left and hold. Optional hum. Come back to your goalpost arms. Hands on your shoulders, long spine. Twist to the right, inhale. Twist left, exhale, optional hum. Inhaling right side. Exhaling left. You can do anything you want with your arms now as you've got the turn and the breathing pattern. You can open them out. You can reach across the opposite knee. Inhaling to the right side. Exhaling left. 2 more. Last one. Inhale right. Hold here and exhale. Now inhale left. Exhale right. So I'm trying different notes to hum. And again, you can hold that solid note as you're humming, or you can change the note as you're humming and kind of go up and down the scale. Several of you are musicians, so you might know the note you're humming. And then inhale left, we'll hold and exhale, optional bees breath. And then come back to center. Just relax your hands on your knees, close your eyes for a moment, and just notice if you feel anything different in your emotional well-being, your physical well-being. If there's any effect from trying the Bhramari breathing. Then we'll transition to our hands and knees, all fours. So I'm going to give you several options here as we work through movements that could possibly involve arm strengthening. Depending on how your shoulders are feeling, you can decide if these movements are okay for your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists. So coming to all fours, round up into cat. And then as you come down to neutral, bend your elbows a little bit and they'll come down toward the floor. Press back up, rounding into cat. Inhale, bend your elbows any amount, bringing them down toward the floor. On your exhale, optional bees breath. And inhale down. Now, if the bend of the elbows is not okay for you today, you're just going to do cat and cow and not bend the elbows. So rather than bending the elbows, just drop your belly down, gaze forward for your inhale. Let's just do one more time. Bending the elbows is going to work our triceps and our shoulders a bit. Finish in your cat stretch. And come to your neutral spine. Extend your right leg straight back. Level off your hips. Bend your knee. We are going to push the heel up toward the ceiling 3 times with 3 inhales. 1. Another 1, 2. And 3. Then exhale and bring your knee forward and round your back. Optional hum. The leg comes up. 3, 2, 1. And optional hum. So adding the arms. As the leg comes back, elbows bend, 3, 2, 1, and pull that knee in. This is called scorpion. The leg goes back, optional bend of the elbows, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, inhale, inhale. One more. Last exhalation. Then send that right leg back. Left arm forward. Spinal balance. If you want, you can add some Bhramari breathing here, or just a steady equal ratio breath, focusing on your core, abdominals, stabilizing your spine. And then bring the hand and knee back to the mat. Reach the right arm out to the side, stretch it up, and we'll just hold this and circle your wrist. And reverse. And come down to all fours. Rotate the left arm up. Circle the wrist. And reverse. And that arm is at whatever height feels okay for your arm. Then we come back down to all fours. Take the left leg back. Bend your knee, level off your hips. 3 inhales, pressing the leg up. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Then breathe out. Round your back, pull your abs in. Send it back. Breathe in, breathe in, in. So if you don't want to add the upper body strengthening, you'll stay just with the leg. Otherwise, the leg goes back and we bend the elbow. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, push up, round. Activate your abs. Breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Press up. Inhale. 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 Last one. Then send the leg straight back. Right arm reaches forward, holding spinal balance. And you can challenge yourself any way you'd like through this, or just try to stay as completely still as you can, focusing on stabilization of the spine, neutral spine, and balancing your body. And we'll come back, hands and knees. Rotate left arm up. This time we'll make a fist and open the fingers wide. A little bit of forearm work and strengthening the hand. And come back down. Right arm reaches up, close and open. Make this pretty vigorous. A tight fist and wide fingers. And we'll come on down. Rise up to both knees. Pull your palms forward. Inhale. Turn your palms back and exhale. We can take 3 in-breaths as we come forward. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Optional hum on that exhalation. 2 more. So your option is to stay with this progression, or we'll add a forward fold on the exhalation. So as those arms come back behind your body, you'll tip forward, bringing your forehead down toward the mat. And come back up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale down. Now another nice breath to use, rather than the bee's breath here, is a forceful exhalation through the mouth. And this is more like breath of joy. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Two more repetitions. And bring yourself up. Okay, taking a nice big step forward with your right foot. You might need your block. I'm just going to bring mine forward in case. We'll step that foot forward to the upper right-hand corner of our mat. So we have a nice wide stance between the feet to open the hip flexor on that left leg. So make sure that your left knee is back behind your body. Drop down into the hip. Feel a good stretch here, nice and upright with the spine. We'll lift the left arm up. So a nice way to use your block is to actually place it over the right side of your body so that you feel a little bit more secure here. So this can involve a little bit of balance as well. Then start to turn your body to the right. So you're turning toward this bent knee, and bring the left hand across. And we can use it to just gently anchor the body to increase a little bit more twist. And then your right hand can come to your hip, or go ahead and slide it behind your back and spiral your body as far as you can to the right side, looking over that right shoulder. If you feel comfortable with balance with this, we can come into cow face arms or a back scratch by bringing the left hand up and reaching the hand back as closely as you can to the right fingertips, but stay in your twist. There's a lot going on here. Strength of your front leg, flexibility of the back hip, moving through the core by holding that twist, and stretching the upper body, left tricep, right shoulder. And a little neck release. All right, let's bring the arm up and release it down. Very gently, carefully slide the other arm from your back. Turn your body to face forward. And we'll straighten out this front leg, shifting back into a hamstring stretch. Pick the toes up. And hold that stretch wherever you feel comfortable. Take it down. And if you would like to try the Bhramari breath here, it does help you go into that relaxation phase of your nervous system. So you could try a couple of bees breaths here. A little hum on that slow exhalation. Maybe you can gradually come down a little deeper into that stretch, opening up the hamstring. And then take your time to move to the other side so you can bring that right leg back around. I like to use my block to step my left foot forward because it kind of helps my body be up a little more so I can get that leg forward. So your left foot comes to the outside upper corner of your mat. If you want, you can bring your block over to your left hand to help support your body. And we'll bring the right arm up. So we're feeling this right hip flexor open. For most of us, super tight area. And we've talked about reciprocal inhibition before, and that's the aspect of tightening this muscle back here. Give it a little squeeze, and that's going to help the hip flexor to relax and let go and find a deeper range. And we'll start to turn our body to the left towards your front leg. Right hand comes across the thigh. You can brace there just a little bit to increase the rotation. Left hand can come to your hip, or you can leave it on your block, or you can wrap that hand behind your back. You can either bring it around your waist, or you can try to reach your fingertips up your spine like you would for a back scratch. And if you have your balance, you feel stable, you can take that arm up and try to reach your fingertips toward each other. Keep firing your core to twist to the left. Maybe come into your bee's breath. Maybe the dwarfs knew something special about whistling while we work. We're going to hum while we work. Maybe whistling would be good too here. All right, let's come out of it very slowly, especially with that arm behind your back. And then as we come back to the front, we'll take our hamstring stretch, straightening out that front leg, pulling the toes up. Really important we keep our spine long and try not to hunch into this. Is it a bad thing? Well, it's not going to be something that hurts us, but we get more benefit out of keeping our spine long to stretch that hamstring. And then we don't keep promoting poor posture in the back. I mean, there are benefits to rounding, and we do that, but we try not to round all the time. We can take it a little lower and try a couple of bees breaths. Pick a different tone. What resonates with you? Maybe hum a tune, several notes. It's kind of a combination of pranayama or breathing therapy and music therapy, which is a thing. All right, let's bring that leg back. And we are going to move through a kneeling half series vinyasa. Now, if you have shoulder issues, you can leave out the chaturanga or you can make it really small. We'll bring our hands out in front, drop the hips down so you're in a neutral spine, and for now, just push back from here to child's pose. And your hands should stay in the same spot. So we inhale to kneeling plank, and we exhale back to child's pose. So that's one option. Next option is we'll come forward and we'll bend the elbows for 3 inhales. 1, 2, 3. Then a long exhale to push back to child's pose. Start breathing in. Bend the elbows 1, 2, 3, and push back. Now that requires a long inhalation, which sometimes is difficult. So if you want to just make it 2 breaths in or 1, that's great too. And make sure your elbows aren't opening to the side. You want to keep them in really close so they're pointing right back toward your hips. One more time. Now either hold your child's pose or come up into a down dog, or take your down dog with your hands on your chair. And we'll just hold here a few breaths. So for some of us, downward dog is a resting pose. Some would kind of giggle if I said it was a resting pose and not agree. It does require some work. So if child's pose is better, take that. Or hands on the chair is wonderful because we get this great stretch for the shoulders and for the backs of the legs without a lot of pressure onto the wrists and the shoulders. All right. So what I'd like to do is make your way to the top of your mat. I'm going to move my blanket here. You can take as many steps as you need to bring yourself forward. Relax head, neck, and shoulders. And then bend the knees really deeply down. Let your hands find your heart center and come up to chair pose. Utkatasana. Powerful pose. Thunderbolt. Your arms can also reach forward or up or back behind you. So find a nice position for your arms. And maybe one bee's breath. And press through those legs. Rise up to find mountain. And we are going to do a standing pigeon pose. So if you have your chair and you need it for balance, you can bring it right in front of you. Or if you just want the stretch and you don't want to work balance, you can turn around and have a seat and just do a seated pigeon. So let's find our balance on our left foot. Pick up your right knee. We're going to take the leg and move it like a pendulum. So your knee is here. You're going to move the foot to the outside and then to the inside. So basically what I'm doing is just rotating my femur, or this upper leg, into the hip socket. You can hold on to your chair if you need to here. this one more time to the outside, and then bring it across to the inside. Bend your standing knee a little bit and place your ankle across your left thigh. Now here's where we're going to use our chair to guide the upper body forward. And you're bending your standing leg as much as you would like and dropping your chest forward over that leg as much as you would like. Once you find the stretch that feels really nice, then you say, can I let go of my chair? Maybe I can with one hand. Or maybe I can put 2 fingers on my chair just to have a little bit of help. Or perhaps you can be really energetic and let go and reach those arms away from the chair. It's always there for you if you need it to put them back down. And let's take 3 breaths, maybe the bee's breath. Maybe an ujjayi breath. Maybe the breath of joy with a forceful exhalation. Now you can decide if you want to stand up first before you uncross your leg, or if you just want to slide that foot away from the thigh and come back to chair pose. Rise up to mountain. Pause for a second and just notice. In the Hatha style of yoga, oftentimes we do a pose, we hold it, then when we're done, we stop for a second and evaluate. What am I feeling in my body? And we let those feelings kind of start to dissipate a little bit before we go into the other side. It's not always immediate. All right, so let's bring our left knee forward, standing on your right foot, and we'll do our pendulum action. So your ankle will go to the outside, across to the inside. And the angle of my upper leg is just pointing straight forward. I'm just rotating the femur out and in. Let's do one more to the outside. Come to the inside and place your ankle on top of your thigh. Bend your standing knee a little bit and use your chair if you need for support so you can find your edge in the stretch. And if you're just sitting down in your chair and doing this, you don't have to worry about balance. You can just enjoy the hip opener. Now, it's a lot harder for me to balance on my right leg, even though it's my, quote, good leg. It's not my dominant balancing leg, so I might have to use the chair a little bit more here. And you might try the bee's breath. It's almost like my brain can't think about humming right now. It's an interesting concept. I'm thinking so hard on balancing. Just a couple more breaths. Maybe more of that cleansing breath of joy. And then you can can stand first or just uncross the ankle. Come to chair. I'm feeling a lot of work in my right quad from standing on that leg. And we'll rise to mountain. Now, if you have your chair in front of you, you might want to back up from it a little bit, as we're going to do our breath of joy here like we did from the knees. So as you breathe in, your arms are going to come up. 3 breaths in, 2, 1. Soften your knees and exhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Now, a traditional breath of joy, the first inhale is here, the second inhale is here, the third one is up. If you have lower back problems, maybe you're not folding forward and you're just staying up. 2 more times. Then just come up, stretch your arms up, reach, interlace your hands. Take a side stretch over to one side, lengthen. Rotate your top shoulder back, look under your arm. Take 2 breaths, maybe the bee's breath here. And come up, stretch the other direction. If this bothers your shoulders, to have your arms up, you can have a hand to your shoulder. Stretch down this way, pull the top shoulder back, take your gaze up. 2 breaths. And come all the way up, releasing the arms down. We'll step the feet out nice and wide, turning the right toes forward, the left foot parallel, and find your stance for warrior 2. So ideally, if we take our hands out, the distance between our wrists should match the distance between our ankles. But if you're not feeling like going that wide, it's just a shorter stance, warrior 2, whatever you like. We'll just inhale the arms out to the side and then side stretch over and the other direction. So through my teaching career as a yoga teacher, I have taught this to keep everything from the waist down really still. In other words, no movement through the pelvis while you're doing this, which is good. It focuses on your side waist. But I have a yoga teacher mentor who taught this last Saturday when I did an online class. And during the side bend, he did a movement in his pelvis, which was really nice. So next time you go over to the side angle, let your hip go out. So I'm actually shifting my pelvis that way. So I push my hip out a little bit and then come up and let your pelvis go that way a little bit. So it's not a big movement, but we're adding the pelvis. So now when I'm sideways, my pelvis is almost in a line with my body here. So just see what you think about it. Both are great ones to do, but it was just a nice little change for me to try it differently. Now you can hold your side angle pose with that hip out, or you can straighten this leg and do triangle. You can use your chair to support your hand or a block. This upper arm doesn't have to be up. In fact, a nice way to do it is let it come behind the back. Get a little stretch for your shoulder there. You can let go of the chair and work your core here. Gently squeeze this left glute to open up the front of that back leg hip. All right, to come up, start to soften and slightly bend this knee. Bring yourself up, go the other direction for just a couple of breaths. And I invite you to put the bee's breath here. And then lower the arms down. Take a moment to switch your stance. So pivot your right foot forward, pivot your left foot out. Adjust your stance. Drop your shoulder blades down. And let's try it without moving the pelvis first. So keep this locked in. There's no movement. And just start to side bend one way and the other. Using your side waist core. Using your QL muscle in the back. Any range of motion. We try the bee's breath. And then when you're ready, you can try moving your pelvis. So as you go to the side, let your pelvis go out a little bit. So I'm just tipping my hip to the side. When you go the other way, it doesn't tip as much the other direction, but try tipping your pelvis that way. It's kind of neat if you just put your hands on your hips here and do it, because you can almost direct your pelvis with your hands. Make it go whoop. And then next time you come to your side angle, you can hold side angle or straighten the leg and do a triangle. This hand can wrap behind the back like we tried on the other side if you did. And this hand can support. You don't want to push on your knee. You can hold your chair, hold a block, or just keep the arm extended out where you're working your core. Indulge me and try a bee's breath. When I did my yoga training for pranayama, it's been probably at least 10 years ago, we had a whole room of people doing the bee's breath. And it was so neat to hear. It was like a choir. And everybody was humming a different tune, a different note, but it all just blended together in this beautiful way it was quite uplifting. Okay, start to bend this knee a little bit. And then we'll come back this way. I need to be really careful of my knee when I've got it straight, because my cartilage is so far gone that my leg won't stay stable. Sometimes when I have it straight, it just slips. So I've got those muscles really tightened around the joint right now. All right, come back out. Turn both feet forward. We are going to come into wide leg forward fold. So if you need your chair in front of you, have that there, or maybe a block. We'll take a nice breath in. Exhale and start to fold forward to whatever your depth of range is. And boy, my left hamstring is so much tighter today in this position. So I'm going to use my block to support me a little bit. So all of us are quite different in this stretch. So I want you to just notice what feels best for your body. And it might be best just to stay right here and have yourself supported up on something. Or if you feel like you want to try to move the spine a little bit, start to walk your hands over toward the right ankle. It's like you're trying to bring your belly right over the right leg. If you want to make this more of a twist, the right arm can come up, wrap behind your back, and look up over your right shoulder toward the ceiling. And this can be done with your hands on the chair as well. And that feels like a good amount of time for me. Let's come back to the middle and pause. Maybe one bee's breath here. And then option to walk the hands over toward the left ankle. Wrapping left arm behind your back or at your hip. Pull that shoulder up, look underneath toward the ceiling with your left eyeball. Maybe even your right one. And come back to center. One breath, ujjayi, or cleansing, or the bee's breath. And then softening those knees a little bit. Start to bend them and come up into goddess squat. Now make your arms work. So my dad used to say, make a muscle. So make a muscle. So tighten the biceps on either side. Make a muscle. It's funny how we remember those little things from our childhood. Keep breathing. And then rise up, stretch, 5-pointed star. And let your arms lower down. We'll come into our butterfly stretch. So find your way down onto your mat and get comfortable there seated one last time. And this time we'll bring the soles of the feet together to open the hips this direction. And sit up tall. You can decide where to put the feet in distance between your groin. And find a comfortable distance for your knees and for your hips. And for you today, maybe just sitting upright is where you want to be for a few breaths, or you can try to hinge forward a little. And one technique I like to use to support my forehead is to bring my block here, to put my elbows on it, and then I can relax the forehead. There's a couple of things that I can do here. I can take the heel of my hands and cover my eyes. So I kind of shut the light out, which is what I usually do. But today what I want to do is cover my ears and come back into the bee's breath one more time. I'm going to do one audible And then I don't want to interfere with what you're hearing in your mind and in your skull. So then you can go into your own bee's breath. Let's take an inhale together. And just a few more on your own. Relax your lower back, your hips.